towards. So big shout out to John Francis for making himself available and the North LA team. We wanted to get this going as quickly as possible. So we have everybody selected. Formal notifications will be going out this evening. Well, it's getting kind of late, so it's probably tomorrow morning. To the individuals, just formalizing it, and then if the awardees agree to continue, then
put
we'll
yourself on mute.
to the contractual piece, and we got a team waiting, ready to go to make sure we can keep that moving along quickly as possible to get everybody up and running. But we finally were able to pull together the interview process, the posting.
These allocations represent the allocations. Notifications will go out tomorrow. If awardees agree to continue, will be referred to contract team.
I want to share with you the results. And
we agree to take a volunteer role.
Moving on. Thank you.
Thanks. I have a question. Once they are notified, how fast are they gonna start working with families?
I'll forward it over. Yeah, my commitment the same day. As soon as we get the acknowledgement, I'll notify our contractual team. They're ready to go. We've already had a discussion today about how to keep it moving as quickly as possible to get individuals going. So I'll keep you all posted, but our goal is to get it ASAP because we know how critical it is.
How are families going to be notified, you know, especially the ones applying or already in the system, you know?
We're going to talk a little bit about it under the town hall, so I'll be able to touch upon it as a part of it, and then if the committee
Sandra asked, once notified, how quickly they can begin. Dr. W already met with contract team, will be able to begin.
Entity that's
no.
And doing these projects to have a profile about who they are, what they offer, what they do, and then we also got to communicate to our community the referral kind of process. So if somebody wants to work with an entity, or if an entity finds somebody to work with, Sylvia and Gabby at North LA have already developed some processes, and they're ready to share, and they'll do partnership meetings with every entity to make sure we're on the same page and that we got everything organized. So there'll be a couple of steps involved, but that's kind of where our thoughts are, to make sure we get the information out to our community. We think it'll help that if they recognize some of your names and they recognize some of you.
Self-determination.
For self-determination, that it might help the process in some ways to get through SDP and get full in. So we're open to ideas. We'll be bringing it here and updating you all as well. But just some preliminary thoughts as we're thinking about how to introduce this.
We'll do partnership meetings with every entity.
So Jesse, does that mean then that this is something we won't be able to access till we get back in
Sylvia
August?
and Gabi will do partnerships with each entity and make sure we get the information out.
I'm hoping weeks or less. I don't want to go on months. We're confident that we're ready to go. There's just some pieces that come up when we enter into the business associate agreement to make sure that we're covering confidentiality, that we're covering milestones, making sure that the rates make sense. So there's just some pieces that have to be ironed out so things go smoothly. And on it, we're hoping, I don't have a date for all of you, unfortunately, but just know our commitment, our values is to go as quickly as possible to get
so that within the time frame that we are not going to be meeting, we are going to find out that these guys are up, ready, contractual, and accessible. Is that kind of what you're saying? Before we meet again, is what your goal is?
Before we meet again, so after this evening, what we're going to be doing is formally reaching out to the awardees, confirming that they're okay with the moving forward. And as soon as they say yes, we're going to move them over to the contractual piece, which is entering into a contract agreement. And as soon as that process is done, then they're up and ready to go formally. But then we have some work to do to make sure that those individuals are...
Lies, Jesse.
I'm excited about is that the announcement tonight and being able to solidify between now and our town hall, which we'll talk about.
We do not need your partners. Let consumers know that.
And they had all these.
We do not need your partnerships. We do not need your partnerships.
Okay.
We do not require that process.
so know that we'll
Actually,
keep
consumers
moving, and then
have
we'll
steps
keep
to
you
take. We
updated
will
as
help
well,
for free.
as the committee of
Dewgre.org/SD.
where we are.
Self-determination for everybody in California. Rolled out July 1st.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
$10.3 billion
Well,
budget.
So now the big issue is, one of the big exciting things, committee meeting schedule.
Consumers
My
should
big
take their
question,
share,
I'm
and
sure is on some of the, many other
Dr.
minds.
W will keep
Does
committee
the 21
updated.
Within the 21 regional centers, are they?
That is
now that we
Jesse
have
Weller.
taken off the mask, now eat in restaurants, go to movies, hang out with vaccinated peoples, and going to Disneyland without a mask, or hospitals. Well, many of the things are wide open. Is regional center opening up for consumers? Can we have meetings at their building? Can we show up to Jesse's office in droves and sit at that table behind him? Enjoy dinner together in Lancaster, or
Okay, let him answer.
We're not open yet, and we don't have a date that we vote for opening to the public yet. I think we're getting closer, and we have a committee that's looking at all guidance and where we are. So we're going in phases, but I do not have a formal date to announce to our community at this time of when we will be reopened to the public.
okay. So we're just gonna keep our schedule the way it is, every third Thursday at whatever time we meet, 1900 hours.
I think we should plan to meet on Zoom for the time being until we have further
Of course,
information. Yeah.
But are we gonna still meet at 1900?
Within the 21 regional centers, now that we have
would
taken off
also
the masks,
recommend
is
that when
regional
we
center
do
opening for
open up,
consumers?
that
Are we
we
going to have
continue
meetings
to
in
have,
person? To meet in
I would
person, or we will
suggest
keep
that we
meetings
continue
as
to have
is?
Zoom as an option.
Dr. Weller says
Again,
we
to
are not
increase
open yet, but
access
we are
for
going in
people to
phases. We do
attend,
not have a specific
and
date
be
yet to
part
share
of
when
and
we
share.
open up.
I think that the world is gonna be doing that. Christina, I think the world is gonna be doing that. Most places I talk to are gonna keep Zoom. People are used to it and like the comfort of Zoom, and so I think the world is doing that and keep Zoom going.
I agree also, especially when we have traveling to the different locations of regional center. For those of us that may not want to travel, it's a nice option.
You need to
love
accommodate
those
us on
connections, but
Zoom
maybe I don't wanna
2020
go.
governor's
So
orders.
I agree, yeah.
I agree as well, yeah.
Also, you can go to meetings that are not even in your catchment. So, like I said, I think a lot of the world is opening up. It's going to keep Zoom going. I don't think Zoom is going to stay with us for the
I think the
foreseeable
world
future.
will
We're
do
gonna have
that,
Zoom.
and Lori and
walks
Sandra
of
agreed
life.
to keep Zoom as an
People
option.
have Okay, so again,
Lori
just to
agrees.
reiterate, we're going to have our meetings on Zoom.
You're mandated to
Thursdays
hold quarterlies for those who have
at
quarterlies in
1900.
person at their home.
Okay,
We've been
we want to
insisting,
meet
but it
earlier.
is happening in our SLS. All quarterlies have been in person
Now
since
we'll
5/21.
go into 6B, preparing for the June 24th. This is Jesse's big thing, the town hall. Go ahead, Dr. Weller.
Ours, not just Jesse, it's ours as a committee. So know that we have a town hall coming up, kickoff campaign, just so if people weren't here, where we recalibrated every month at North LA. More recently, we've been hosting a town hall on topics that are important to our community, or things are coming up out in the public where there's challenges or barriers or more information needed. We've been tailoring topics specific to those needs, and we thought it was timely with self-determination launching. We're treating the launch now to do a kickoff campaign. And so what we were thinking about is having an opportunity for our community to get excited for self-determination and to be able to meet members of our local volunteer advisory committee. And North LA leadership will be there. I thought that would be good to kind of show our presence together around self-determination, and then also invite our awardees of the fund. I think that's an important kind of showing our sense of our community.
Know that we are
for
having our town hall
self-determination.
for
So in terms
June.
of just
We thought it was
format,
timely to have it as a
because there's lot of
kickoff
different directions we can
campaign.
go. It's usually an hour and a half. What we were envisioning is just doing a nice warm welcome to our community. We were thinking about having John Francis as the chair, just do a nice opening and say a few words. Maybe Christina Canarella as the board liaison, saying a few words about self-determination, and then as many people, and if you can confirm in chat for me or email me if you're available for next Thursday, I'll get you the Zoom panel link. And anybody here as part of the committee, we think just throwing ideas out there would be important to know who you are, why you joined as the local volunteer advisory committee, and what you're most excited about for self-determination. I think if we can talk about the opportunities of self-determination and all of the great things that it offers from different perspectives.
Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act expires in October 1, and they will resume to in-person and not make Zoom accessible.
Talk about,
way to go back to the dark ages.
And then maybe we can talk a little bit about making sure people know about the volunteer advisory committee where people can join. And then depending on how much time we have, I think just in terms of a town hall perspective, maybe we can talk about what's next. Like, where can I go to get more information and how to get connected and those kinds of things. So I wanted to see a couple things. One, if you are available next Thursday, our committee members, if you're interested and available to do this with us. And then if you're okay with that kind of format, maybe about 3 to 5 minutes each of just talking about self-determination and why you're here, and making sure that people really know why we have a volunteer advisory committee and the importance of this committee. So I'm kind of approaching it from a kickoff campaign, not so much of a training, which we'll do upcoming for SDP, but just more of a kickoff. Here we are, milestone achievement, and seeing what you think of that concept for this kind of last minute town hall we were able to put together.
I was writing down your notes so I can attend your meeting, Jesse.
You, Ellen.
Is everybody okay with this concept? Are there
Yeah.
any questions or other ideas?
I'm sorry, Chris, Dr. Weller, excuse me. Did you say that you were going to get or invite maybe a participant or someone who's currently on STP to be there as a panelist?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can put that together.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that. We can't wait for that. Sorry about the people. Maybe Jesse will record this.
Maybe.
Put the big record up, or I will say that I want to record it as a consumer and hopefully they'll record it so those like can't be there who have IEPs or other appointments can then watch this when watch the kickoff for SDP. Now we're gonna go through people. I guess some people don't know about generic resources like Medicare and free concerts in the park that happen throughout the summer. So if somebody wants to talk about how you can attend these, get free generic resources. I just walk across. For me, I walk across the street. And there's a park, and on Sundays, 6 o'clock, there's free concert. That's how I do it. But anyway,
I think they mean, that there's the mandate that before the SDP funds are used to pay for a service, then the participant needs to access generic resources to pay
like
for
Medicare,
first.
Medi-Cal,
yes.
Right.
Education.
Legal Center is the payer of last resort.
Correct. So that was on our agenda because I think John wanted to discuss it, and I'm not sure specifically what he wanted to discuss. And unfortunately, we can't ask him. So maybe we should defer this for another meeting.
Deferred, okay. I think, does anybody have questions about how generic resources works? Oh?
I don't have a question about that, but something that you guys sparked in me when you were talking about this, so I can wait and let somebody else has something about the generic resources.
Well, I think, I'm not sure if anyone's been looking at the chat, but something important was brought up by Christopher Arroyo regarding in-person meetings versus Zoom meetings. And I think we should make sure everyone's aware of that. Do you want to share that information, Chris?
Yeah, please, Chris, speak.
Sure thing. So basically the governor had issued executive orders under the emergency of the pandemic that suspended parts of Bagley-Keene, and mainly the parts that allowed meetings, or that basically said meetings had to take place in person. So it allowed for virtual meetings like this to occur. Those executive orders are set to expire at the end of September. And so consequently, after October the 1st, any meetings that have to comply with Bagley-Keene must be held in person. Right now, there is nothing that exists that will change
and they
this
also provide
right
Zoom
now.
access.
So what may happen between now and September 30th is anybody's guess. There's at least one bill looking to change some of the aspects of open meeting laws. And so we just have to wait and see this, as to what the final result of this will be.
Interesting.
Very good. I didn't know we didn't know that. So it's since September. Very good. So obviously, in the next few months, we'll be back in person, and hopefully, we'll keep this Zoom going. Okay, so we're gonna go to number D, which says new SDP cases without a budget. I don't know what that means. I wasn't here to put that on the agenda. I don't know if anybody who was here wants to discuss case without a budget.
Again, that was something that John wanted to have on the agenda, and that's all I know as to what he wanted to talk about. Just that
You weren't
line.
here either.
Well, no, I mean, he sent me an email between the last meeting and this
Please
meeting
accept
to
my
develop
testimony
the
to extend
agenda,
the Zoom
and that's what he wrote.
mandate.
So I don't know what he meant by it. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll throw it away. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the last one. Then we'll give it plenty of time for the thing. Agenda planning for future meetings. Does anybody have any idea? People like Ellen,
Table
Sandra,
until John
Jesse,
available.
Diane, other folks that are on our Richard too want to discuss planning for the future.
Well, I'm still interested in bringing in people to speak to us, whether that's we've been talking about it for months, but the FMS, the IFs, I know we're going to get some of that funding through our budget and promoting it, but still as a part of our meeting, I'm still interested in having those people speak.
I agree. I've been at other meetings like Harbor, who have done that, done it month after month after month. They bring speakers in like McAwee from Empower. I heard her speak at another meeting, and I've heard many other people speak, so we have not done that. I don't know why, but we should. I agree that we need to bring these speakers in. They're here, and we need to let them speak about their business and promote themselves. And they have openings, sign up with them. So we should do that. How can we do that?
Can we invite these agencies that are getting the funding from the contracts? Like the Legacy Center and stuff like that, so we can, that would be very interesting to me.
Great idea. Jordan, Dr. Cooperstein has her hand up.
Please, whoever has her hand up, I don't know who she is, but okay, please speak. Introduce yourself first. I don't know you, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Henny. I definitely agree.
Oh, she just hard of hearing. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to read it.
Yes. Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Henny. My friends call me Dr. Henny. I am autistic. I am a consumer in San Diego Regional Center. Today I had my very successful budget meeting. I made all my paperwork myself. I am a professional researcher and I provide peer support only. I am a world expert in non-speaking communication, digital communication, ASC users. I have published research on my methodologies and I guarantee results. Your budget will be approved in 1 hour or your money back. And our money is not what they are paying for $2,500 for people who are not experts. we are asking a $250 donation to our nonprofit to generate opportunities for people like us who desperately need jobs, and you giving it to translator companies. I'm glad that you reduced your budget this year from $9,000 to $8,000, because it's embarrassing every time I come to your meetings and you do not know how to activate captions. I will take half of your $8,000 budget and advise the council to have statewide accessibility for all kinds of people. And we have a right to participate and to be heard, and you have a right to ignore us. So I will stop speaking now.
Embarrassing is the key word. It was embarrassing that we didn't have the technology working. I agree. But she did say we can do a budget in an hour. Did I hear her correctly?
Mm-hmm.
She said we could do a budget, a guaranteed budget in 1 hour. Diana, want to say something? Dan Bernstein, I recognize you.
Yes. When I was asked just now as for ideas moving forward, I second Henny's proposal for a self-advocacy group, and also first a parents support group as well.
Related to
determination,
cool, Dr.
parent
Henny.
support, self-determination, self-advocacy.
Good. Anybody want to say anything? All right, move on. So what does number D mean? Does anybody want to tackle number B, 5B?
Hold on 1 second, sorry. Sorry, 1 second. So I just want
are we on public input now?
Not yet.
with regards to what's on the
That's
agenda,
not clear.
the agenda for the next meeting,
Yes.
right? So I would like to add on, and I don't, and sorry if I missed that we talked about
Henny's
the
recommendation
update
for self-advocacy
the
group,
support group,
something
that we
for
talked about in the
parents.
last meeting. Is there any update on getting that put together through our SDP team? And then, so I'd like to have that definitely added on the next agenda as to when, like, picking a date of the month and a time for both of these, the self-advocate group, SDP group, and a participant and, family, anybody interested group, support group as well. So we can actually just start to get those implemented. And then the other thing that I think is going to be really important for our next agenda, to have on our next agenda, is all the decisions that will have been made in the government with the budget and how those will impact our the SDP program, or SDP. And then I'll have a public comment later.
Very good, and I appreciate that, and I also appreciate Dr. K, or I can't pronounce your last name, so I won't try, but thank you very much for speaking, and I fully agree with her. And now we will go, since we have plenty of time for number 7. This is additional public input and comments. I will let the public or the committee go. If anybody, Dr. K wants to speak again, we'd love to hear from her, or anybody else. Any of the other people, even Chris Aurora, if he has anything to say, I'd love to hear from him again. It was a pleasure hearing from him. So anybody want to make any public comment?
We have Diane and Judy.
We have Judy, we have Diana, we have Judy Mark with her hand up, so I will recognize Judy Mark.
Okay, great. Just had to turn on my camera. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
I'm here to say hi and thank you. We are so honored. Disability Voices United is so honored to be working with your committee on so many important projects. I would like to suggest that for the next meeting that there be a discussion about the items that we're going to be working on, which
by the people, for the people.
A resource fair, and we need to sort of figure out in what format. Is it going to be online? Is it going to be in person, or both? And some dates for those things, and also some trainings. You asked us to do trainings of your committee as well as of parents and self-advocates. So we have some really great folks. I don't know if you know Molly Kennedy, but Molly Kennedy has joined our staff just in the past week to actually provide trainings from self-advocate to self-advocate. And we also have a whole range of great folks who can do the parent and family trainings. And so I would love to have that on the agenda for next month, and we'll be sure to be here to figure that out.
And now I'd like to hear from Dr. K. Please.
Yes, I'm up. Hi, public comment, please prepared, because I was attending all the meetings in the past 3 weeks, and I have been collecting meticulous documentation for transparency. So I have a database of inaccuracies localized by region and demographic. So different demographic are getting different information. All of it falls. My nonprofit, we do consumer research, and I have the data available to you at no cost. However, it will cost professional fees for me to draw up a report for you, like I have done for the governor for this session. I have extensive legislative and policy experience. I would like to state that we need more accountability for these meetings where we come together and work as a team instead of building opportunities for people to become lobbyists. I don't want to fight you guys. I want to be on the same team, and I am a good team player. And please let me be your ninja and do not oppress me for my differences.
Like ninjas. Ninjas get things done. So I will ask a ninja. Thank you very much. I want to recognize, again, thank you, Dr. K. If you can't hear me, thank you. Whoever's typing, we're letting her know that we appreciate her and want to work with her, and hopefully she will come to more meetings and work with her. Now I want to hear from the great Chris Aurora. Please take it away, Chris.
I personally prefer if people lower their expectations when I speak and not increase them, but thank you, Jordan. I just wanted to let people know and remind them, it was briefly mentioned earlier in the meeting.
Just get things done.
But I do want to remind people that there is going to be
what you have to say.
a meeting of the
great
statewide
answer.
self-determination on Tuesday. And I will put into the chat, it's already been put in the chat previously, but I will put again the link to the State Council's website, where there is a copy of the agenda, the packet, and all the Zoom meeting information is a part of that. So again, that's this coming Tuesday, and I believe it starts at 10 a.m. Yes. So hope to see all of you there. And again, I'll put that information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us again about the meeting this coming Tuesday. Usually it's recorded. We will recognize again our friend, colleague Diane Bernstein.
I believe I was invited to speak at the first reference. I support what's been spoken. I'm in collaboration, cooperation, communication here. I can't really say enough good things about the community that we've experienced in our participant family. So that's it for now.
Well, thank you very much for those kind words. I will take it over to Mr. C. and Third.
And hello. Some of what Sandra had to say earlier, is really troubling. Somebody who's really struggling to make this work and is hitting walls. One thing that I thought that if this is possible to try to coordinate is when a participant does secure a vendor in the community for whatever category of service, and that there would be a way to list that vendor for other participants, so that they don't have to constantly go through trying to explain this and trying to sell it to a brand new vendor. if there's a vendor already that has accepted the service and is connected with whatever financial manager, then let's keep on using them. And that can also be a way to promote them to try this, that we will advertise their services as a vendor already established with an FMS, and hopefully we can start accruing a list of vendors that are already active. That's it. Thanks.
So what I agree to that. I think it should be, again, I'll use the term statewide. So whether if you're using a vendor here in our catchment, and let's say Diane uses a vendor, likes the vendor, and it's working out, and they've already been vetted, and that should go on a list. So someone will go, hey, I can use that same vendor. I'm not going to find a different one and vet it. That's already been vetted. That's a great idea. And if it was statewide, then you can go all over the state. Just, hey, I need a vendor in downtown LA, or going to be wherever I'm going to be. I can use that vendor. So that's a great idea. Hopefully someone will create a website as a list of all the vendors. We can use them. Do you have anything to add to that, Ken, or just your hand is still up?
Nope. I will put my hand down. Thank you.
Okay, and I will piggyback on what Judy said real quickly. Sometimes in our committee meetings, we get bogged down on dates and times and how to get things done, and it takes so long. So if we're going to put anything on an agenda, let us definitely keep in mind the minutes. So if we're going to keep a date, like you want to figure out how to do another meeting, or want to figure out how to do something, let's not be bogged down by times and dates, to do that more quickly. And have a like if we're going to do a resource fair coming up, let's not spend 30, 45 minutes discussing when, where, how, and everything. Let's do it in a timely manner going forward, so we're not spending the whole night discussing what day to do it, what time to do it, let's do it. Anyway, we're going to go back to anybody else who hasn't spoken yet, want to speak. People like our esteemed Rachel, does she want to speak? Does Sandra want to speak? Nobody else? Does Richard want to speak? No? Okay, then we'll go back to those.
Sandra, I'm sorry, I wanted to share or ask, I don't know. Some of the non-traditional vendors that at least a couple of them are also run by parents, those programs and stuff. And I'm just amazed that there's still a lot of people out there that have never heard about self-determination. So is there I don't even know how we can reach people anymore, but how do we at least let people know that self-determination is a thing here at North LA County,
having a kickoff meeting on.
That was supposed to be done through your service coordinator.
How do we make sure these people know about this kickoff thing, and because I think it's only us that know about it. I don't know.
Well, that was supposed to, knowing about SD self-determination was supposed to be addressed, and it was never addressed to me, but through your service coordinator would be the first place that should address self-determination. And how do people know about meetings? There's two ways. One is you get on the email list as the news you can use, and I get that. I get more stuff from Meadle Center, and I got stuff on dealing with the heat and how to drink more water, and the power grid. So I get stuff from news.
I understand, because you're very involved.
As well as you go to a website, there's a calendar and it lists all the month's events right there. You can read about every event, the calendar. That's what I do. Go to the calendar as well as get the news you can use. So they post everything, including, and we're the only very few regional centers allow us to go to a meeting like this without registering. You just walk right in and here you are. So we have the calendar, we have the news you can use, and we also have other email updates. They email me probably 3 times a week. I get stuff from Regional Center. They're good on doing that. And I will take it back to Diane. Is your hand still up, or did you want to say anything else?
Well, I haven't finished my.
Go ahead, Sandra. I'm sorry. Please.
Please just let me speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
But are the service coordinators still notifying the families in their caseload that there's such a thing as self-determination, or, how do we communicate with just anybody? Because like I said, I've encountered quite a few people that have never heard of self-determination. So, I was actually amazed myself, but I mean, it's not, but I'm not making it up. And so, and I know that for years now, we've been part of this committee for 5, 6 years now. I'm not even sure anymore. But the only time that I really saw people going out there in communities was this young woman that I can't recall her name anymore, but she worked for North LA at least a couple of years. And then when she left, I don't think anybody took her position of just doing outreach to different communities. That was her sole job at North LA.
I agree with you. I know 2 people personally, one in a group home, female, and one who has been in more supported living agencies than anybody else, and both have not heard within the last 2 months. I spoke to them and they have not heard of self-determination. So that's a good question for Sylvia and or Jesse. Can one of you answer or try to answer Sandra's question about our regional center coordinators speaking to their consumers about the self-determination program here in North LA?
This is Gabby. I would like to add that during every annual review meeting, IPP meeting, we inform consumers about self-determination. We now have it on the signature page that we've informed them of not only the self-determination program, but the participant-directed services. Also, in every report that we mail out, IPP, annual review, addendums, we send out the self-determination flyer. We just recently updated the flyer, and I'll share it with you. So you'll be seeing these in your report, going out with reports. Can you see that?
Oh, I can. Yes.
So this is our new flyer about the self-determination program that is now available to all eligible consumers. And the statewide program intends to give participants more flexibility, choice, control over decisions regarding their regional center funded services. We put the 5 primary anchors of the program and principles there. We informed of the informational meeting, the dates of it being every first Monday from 3 to 4, no RSVP required. And we give them the Zoom link and the passcode. And then we have the orientation meetings that we list as the second Monday of every month. And the 3 different methods to get in contact with us. And we also have it in Spanish. So when you get it in your report, it's back-to-back English front and back Spanish. Okay.
I'd like to suggest that all of us on this committee also take responsibility for getting out the information, sharing it with anybody we're affiliated with, organizations, Facebook. If North Los Angeles posts this on their Facebook page, we share it on our Facebook page, Instagram. If you're on these social media, that's a great way to get people to know about these things. I mean, every single person I talk to who's a regional center consumer, I always tell them about self-determination. And there's a lot of myths out there about it. And I think it's really, really important that we take responsibility, being members of this committee, to do that, because we have more knowledge. We can help debunk these myths that people think they're forced to move into an apartment if they're in self-determination. That's a very common one that I keep getting from consumers and families are not supportive of consumers, participants who want to be in the program. They're told by their families they don't want them to be, because that means they're going to have to move out. So we have to take our knowledge and share it. I know Regional Center, what you just said, Gabby, thank you for doing that. The other thing that I thought of is that, so today or yesterday, we did get calls from regional center, specifically about the heat wave. And like Jordan mentioned, not everybody is on the news you can use. If you are, it's great because you get a ton of emails every week. But if you're not, you're in the dark. So can we use that robocall, even though it's not a heat wave, it's a big deal, and let every regional center consumer family know that they call the same numbers they called for the heat wave, that we had this kickoff that is a brand new program coming out July 1st. Find out more information, come to our kickoff campaign if you're able to. If not, hopefully it will be recorded so they can attend it later, and be able to access the information that way, because access is critical, right, in every single realm. And I apologize again, Dr. K, for Kupferstein, if I'm saying that wrong. I apologize again for not having the closed captioning available to you. I highly recommend before every single meeting, not just ours, every single regional center meeting, and even ones that we hold ourselves, we check and make sure, we do practice and check and make sure, because sometimes what happens is once you're in the meeting, you can't change settings. You can't go back and change them after the meeting has begun.
We understand that. That's what the problem before the meeting started. So it was all discussed earlier.
Oh, hold on.
Down about it now.
But this is really critical because it limits access, and that
Right.
breaks.
We understand that.
So the other thing is, and I've asked this before, again, for all regional center meetings, let us enable the save chat for the chat. I cannot copy and paste, and I'm very computer literate with regards to this. I can't copy and paste the chat. So all the links, all the messages, I don't have a capability of saving them. So it's a very simple thing to save chat. I see Judy on here, and just all the SDP connects, they save the chat, and it is a huge ability for access. So I'm going to say it again, please, let's have that access. And then the last thing is that when people bring up, and I want to have this on our agenda next meeting, when we have guests that are attending our meetings and they're putting things in the chat that are pertinent to what we're discussing, can we have them be active participants in the discussion, or how do we want to handle that? Do we want to go back to it during public comment? I think some of these issues should be addressed, or do we encourage them to bring it up during public comment?
I'd encourage them to bring it up during public comments and during the public input and comment. And with that public input and comment, I'm going to go to Romeo, who hasn't spoken yet. Josephina Romeo, please speak so we can hear from you. Thank you for coming. She'll have to unmute herself. JR.
I think he's saying Josefina Romo.
Yes, JR.
Josefina, there.
Thank you. I didn't understand my name. Thank you, Judy. I have a question. Okay, there's an issue with some Hispanic families, especially who were selected for that lottery. They are receiving the independent facilitator services, and they do the PCP. But when they have to go to the regional center meetings to discuss the budget and everything. They say, okay, I'm done with my job. My job is to only do the PCP, so the rest is something is your responsibility. My question is how these coordinators can help these families, since the independent facilitator basically is abandoning these families. It's really sad. It's really sad because these families, they don't understand the responsibilities that independent facilitators they have with them. So they say, okay, it's only your job, do the PCP, it's okay, I accept that. But when they have to go to the meetings with the regional center coordinator, they don't know what to do because they have no idea after the PCP what is the next step. How the coordinators can help these families. Because when they are in the meetings with the coordinators, nobody knows what to do. Not the families and not the coordinators.
Does Regional Center, like Jesse, or is there somebody want to take that question? Dr. Weller?
So, Josefina, for meetings, we do have the service coordinator attend the meeting, as well as the self-determination specialist, so we guide them through the process. We understand that this concept is also new for service coordinators. They have been trained, but now they're doing more hands-on work. But a specialist should always be in the meeting, and we do attend those budget meetings to walk them through every step of the way.
Josefina, were you saying that the IF who did the person-centered plan doesn't do the budget, or are you saying that this regional center staff don't know how the budget works?
Basically the independent facilitator only did the PCP, but the rest of the steps they have to follow, they are not doing it. They let the families by themselves to handle this with the regional center. But I understand, coordinators, they know, but the family, they don't know what to do, because they only have the PCP, but they don't have all the steps. They don't have how to negotiate with the regional center. Some of the services they are asking for. So this is my question. For me, to be honest, it's very dishonest for the facilitator abandoning these families. I don't know if it's a rule regional center have to deal with these facilitators before they pay them, because I don't think it's fair they abandon the families before they do all the process. Doing the PCP is not only the job; it has to be all the process with the regional center. And because there's a personal friend I have, and that facilitator abandoned her. And when she has to go to the regional center, she doesn't know what to do. And she said that this is an independent facilitator, but there's no a particular person. So she doesn't know what is the responsibility for this facilitator. And it's so sad, especially we talk about disparities. This is happening to the Hispanic families. And they don't know what the process, and they can get frustrated and say, you know what, I'm not gonna continue it. I'm gonna go back to the traditional system, because they don't know what to do. And the person who supposedly has to help them is leaving them by themselves. And I think it's sad, it's really sad, and it's very dishonest. They are doing that.
Josefina, I'll connect with you after the meeting just to see how I can help.
Very good. And then we want to hear from, I believe there was somebody else who had their hand up. I can't, but I don't see them hand up. See, looking around the room. Josephine still her hand up. Okay, anybody else?
Diane?
You want to speak? You have something to say? Maybe Judy wanted to say something else. I think she had her hand up earlier, but she took it back down. Thank you.
Yeah, I do.
Please.
Are you all, I just have a question. Are you all offering Spanish interpretation for this meeting as well?
We had it, but nobody needed it.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious about that. So you always have it available, but tonight there was no one.
We used to have it available in person and then on Zoom, but then no one was using it. We hired a girl and it was being unused for a while.
We do ask that they RSVP so that we can have someone available.
I understand. That makes sense, Sylvia. So maybe that's something that we can work on with you, because we have a lot of connections, with the Latino community, the Spanish speaking community. I know Jesse, you do as well. So let's work on making sure they are getting like special invitations to this meeting. And then as far as closed captioning, it actually is more complicated than you think it is. It's not just about setting it up beforehand. You have to use, unless you have a very expensive professional subscription with Zoom, you have to use an external captioning service. We use something called Otter AI, and we can get you guys set up. It's super cheap, and we can get you guys set up on it pretty quickly. Our program assistant, Ed, is really, we call her the Zoom master. So we're happy to help with that.
Judy, your platform for the SCP conference was super smooth, and there were so many options, and it just was, me being present was very easy to navigate. I know every license is different, but
yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about that platform with Gabby today. It's a very expensive platform. DVU has now an annual membership to it. which would allow, if we want to use it for North LA, we'd be able to get it for obviously part of our subscription. But it's there's another system that we use that is part of it called Wonder, which I think would be really fun for a resource fair, where people are like get into little circles and they move through the circles, and that way they can just kind of go from place to place as if you're in person. And so we can do a training on all these different platforms for the committee, so that the committee is prepared for when these events are happening and you're knowing what you're doing.
That would be very helpful. Perhaps want to include everybody, whether you speak Spanish, Hebrew, or any other language. We want to include you all, or any of the Asian languages. Looks like anybody else, JR, did you want to say anything else? Did you guys forget to take your hands down when you raise them so it confuses my one-track mind?
Cassandra, I wanted to, I think like even when we're doing our Zoom meetings, maybe making somebody from our committee, like the chair or the secretary, a co-host, so that we don't have issues waiting for somebody to come up and let other people share the screen.
Right, very good. I think everybody has asked everything. Everybody get everything they wanted. Everybody asked everything. Any other last minute thoughts, whether from anybody?
Miriam has her hand up.
Miriam, Miriam. Okay, Miriam, yes, please introduce you. That was the one I was trying to get.
I'm Miriam. I'm a mom of a participant. I spoke at the last meeting. I don't know, I was pretty frustrated, but I want to thank the people who helped me. Some of the issues were resolved. So thank you for everyone who made that happen. I know you all work, I'm sure, past your hours, so thank you for that. And I put it in the chat earlier, but it wasn't mentioned again. Right now, I would say my biggest issue is the FMS way of payment, that it's just not possible for many things. And I still think that reimbursement would be the best solution. And I'm wondering if there is anybody working on that. Is there a committee? Am I the only one who thinks that would be helpful? Anybody can say something to that?
I don't know if there's a lot of us who've experienced it yet, since we're still getting into the program.
Okay.
I actually have been working on a service for my son that they have been unable to pay for. And so I haven't done enough research, and I can't give you any answers to it, but I do know that that's kind of my question. If we can't get it through our FMS, then how do we do it? So I'm working on it too, and it is something that I'm going through also.
I reached out to several FMSs, actually all the ones that are vendors with North LA, and asked them about that. And there was one FMS who said they would reimburse, but all the others say it's illegal, it's not allowed through DDS. So I'm not sure, should I switch to that FMS? Are they just saying it and then it won't work? And if it's illegal, should I do it? So I don't know. This is really an issue for me.
I have one last question from my end. I was wondering, I was told that you can't, my staff wants to be hired, and obviously she can't, as a 1099. I was told you can't do that, so I'm just wondering, and I was told you can't do that either. Can you hire staff on a salary? Is that possible? Do you have to only hire them hourly? Can they work off a salary if you want to give them a salary through your budget? Does anybody know about salary? Because my staff wants to do 1099, but she has multiple clients. So she wanted to do 1099, and she said, willing to go to salary if I can do that, but I don't know if you're allowed to do that. Does anybody know that's a possibility, so I can avoid, like Ken Curry mentioned earlier, this whole overtime issue? And with that question, that could be from Dr. Weller, do you know about that? Or anybody?
We'll have to
How
get
do
more
I sound?
information on my end.
Again?
We would have to get more information and circle back with you.
Okay. I will keep you posted on it then. And anybody else? Have any other comments, questions? Just speak up. Anybody? Chris, anybody? No? Well, then I want to anybody want to read anything in the chat before we end? Anybody on the board? Dr. K, have anything last minute comments? No?
Hold on.
Okay. Thank you, Ellen.
While you do that, I'd just like to thank you, Jordan. You did an amazing job being chair tonight, so thank you
Welcome.
for
Hey, Jordan.
this.
Remember me during election time.
Yeah.
I got the meeting done at 8:54 instead of 9:08 or 9:10. So hopefully we can continue it. So thank everybody. And again, remember we have the meeting on
Well
Tuesday,
done.
statewide meeting Tuesday, and then we have Jesse's meeting, with Thursday at 1:30, 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and then third Thursday of July. So if I don't see everybody, happy 4th of July. Have a safe 4th of July. Hopefully you're all vaccinated and enjoy your 4th.
Okay, Jordan, before we do that,
Yes.
did you see what Dr. K mentioned? She said, please ask us about these lists. We pay our interns to research this. We need jobs. I think it's doing, accumulating that information, the data that she was talking about earlier. So I'm just making sure you saw that.
And you want to comment on that, Ellen?
No, I'm just saying this is what Dr. K put in the chat. So,
Yes, I raised my hand. Hello.
Here we go.
Thank you for my solution. Would like to make Jewish people do not like the word solution, so please listen to us about appropriation. We have opportunities for bringing self-determination to everybody. We just need government to get out of our way, and we need to be able to exercise our rights, and we need to spread awareness that we want the jobs, and it's not mutiny, it's 2021. We just want to do what we know has worked for us, and we have not been listened to. I have published research every single year since 2016 about autism and supports that are reasonable, and I have written a bill to ban ABA, and we will ban ABA, and we already banned in 4 countries. Please do not participate in regional centers stereotype, gaslighting, and putting people into boxes. As you know, in autism land, we like to say, when you hit the square peg into the round hole, the hammer breaks. And today, with my budget meeting with my department, I got to see lots of hammers on the floor, and they're waiting for our energy to pick the hammers up and hit the nail on the head. I'm done with my metaphors.
Oh, I love metaphors and puns. Love it. So thank you for those metaphors and puns. We will take that to heart. So it's good that she's advocating, and I thank her once again. And Dr. K, we hope you come back to, I know you're in San Diego, but I hope you will make the Zoom journey back to our meeting in next month, because we can use people like you. So I want to again thank everybody, including our sign language interpreter, Jan. Again, Chris, for being here, and for everybody else. That's it, 8:58. And I will adjourn the meeting. Does anybody want to second the adjournment?
a second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Well, Mark is in charge of the website, and the website has to be up to date. So you need to write to Mark if the website does not have the listings of the regional center services and self-determination resources. If it's not up to date, we will maintain the lists for you only for our clients. Only peer support gets to have access. Victoria from OCR, Disability Rights. Susie said today's meeting that Tiffany Wong is the San Diego resource person. Joyce Clark said that she's putting together a mailer and work with a graphic designer. So Joyce had to subcontract to Regional Center to advise them on how to spend their $10 billion budget. Boy, oh boy, we have to pay Joyce to tell this Regional Center how to use $10 billion. She's recommending peer coaching, mentoring, and conferences and material development to be executed. Wonderful, but they gave $8,000 to Legacy, and last year $9,000, and nobody knows about this program. So I raised my hand and I said, we will do your PR accessible email for you, no cost. And she said, we're all set, thank you. They will be asking for local conferences in person to help, to assist to putting the pieces together and to help get this program rolled out, but they won't talk to me. So then if you want to be listed as an independent facilitator, you don't have to be certified or trained. If you are peer support like ourselves, like Dugarry Institute, get listed. We submitted to the CA California SD Self-Determination, the California Self-Determination Network, the CASDPnetwork.org, but their website is crashing because today I confronted him about my application twice and he said it's still under development. But he promised Henny will be featured next month, and currently it's Ethan's art, the son of Mark. So Mark said, write to me and we will be listed. I'll let you know when I'm listed. So Austin is a certified Zumba instructor, and he's also a self-advocate and client, and he would like the contract. So please look up Austin. He has a nonprofit and he is a consumer of Regional Center. We need jobs and we need to support our peers. Support Austin Joe. At the 7:00 p.m. meeting, we had Christina Canarella and Richard Dyer and Jesse Weller from North Los Angeles County Regional Center. I apologize for the delay. I'm checking right now to see how the team can expedite. I had requested captions. It has taken the entire meeting for them just to apologize. This is where the agenda was. John Francis is the chair, and the board report related to self-determination program is Christina. She is the board rep. Jordan says, we have a mute person here. I will speak slower. Mute person here. I will speak slower. That's the solution. They will have a statewide meeting this Tuesday on self-determination program. The link will be in the chat, and there will also be a big meeting Tuesday. So please contact us and check the Dugarry Institute and follow me on my public figure page. I will give you those links so that you can get connected. Christina says, next month the town hall will focus on a kickoff for self-determination, and myths will be cleared. Myths will be cleared. Yay, Christina. So for June, if you want to register, June 22, don't miss it because the next one will be in August. scdd.ca.gov/SSDAC. I believe it stands for State Council for Developmental Disabilities.ca for California.gov for Big Brother /SSDAC, which may be self-sufficiency, I don't know. But that's where we're going. And they already have a agenda on their website. I will share this with you. This is the Zoom information to log in. I will share this with you in the messages here below in the comments. Sylvia is talking about implementation data. So I took screen captures to show you how they're budgeting the implementation. It's all misappropriation of state funding, and I will publish that report on Sunday. Jesse Weller from North Los Angeles County Regional Center, PsyD, emailed me apologizing for the captions. This is the end of my broadcast. Thank you for watching. Please follow and like my public figure page. It's important for the unheard voices to be prioritized.